A tribute to Carl Sagan, the wonderful mystic where brains meet entertainment, by Armando Brigham.
The cosmos is all that is, or ever was, or ever will be.
Astronomer, author, physicist, television host, astrophysicist, and Professor Carl Sagan was a remarkable human being whose achievements deserve commemoration at the highest level. A lyrical wordsmith and a person who was able to make even the most difficult scientific notions easily digestible, Carl Sagan was one of a kind and a great influence on science and entertainment.
What if the scientific method and experiment had been vigorously pursued 2,000 years before the Industrial Revolution?
No one else has been able to master the crossroad between art and science so wonderfully, balanced with educational benefits within an alluring, nurturing, aesthetically pleasing entertainment package. From his countless books that weave between literature and educational science books, and his hit TV show Cosmos, A Personal Voyage, that's actively being made with updated information, starring Neil Degrasse Tyson, and now titled Cosmos, A Spacetime Odyssey.
But imagination alone is not enough, because the reality of nature is far more wondrous than anything we can imagine.
Carl Sagan brought the most complex scientific notions into the mainstream by condensing them into fitting layman's terms, a skill set that hadn't been seen before by the general public until him. Sagan wasn't just a phenomenal scientist, but an intricately beautiful artist. No one has shown such mutual right brain, left brain dominance since or before him.
What distinguishes one human being from another in terms of intelligence is probably very little to do with the heredity.
There have only been a few people that were able to stand upon his shoulders, namely Bill Nye and Neil Degrasse Tyson. His brilliant mind materialized his most unearthly fascinations throughout his lifetime that pushed human inventions into interstellar space and put the imprint of the human species in the cosmic ocean. His contributions to not only science and art, but to the advancement of the human species and the search for extraterrestrial life deserves persistent commemoration, appreciation of the highest level, and a glowing permanent position in human history.
They will spend $1 trillion on Star Wars. Think of what that money could be used for to educate.
The life and career of Carl Sagan. Born in 1934 in Brooklyn, New York, Carl Sagan famously was interested in the cosmos at an early age. Zipping through space books, sci-fi novels, and even drawing his impeccable visions of the future, Sagan impressed everyone around him, and it was clear he was one of a kind and destined to do amazing things.
General picture, however, of a Big Bang followed by an expanding universe is correct. What happened before that?
His imagination would balloon after seeing the innovations of some of the brightest minds and creating the most brilliantly bizarre inventions at the New York World's Fair. Many times, he's publicly spoken about the impact the New York World's Fair had on him, where he saw an even match for his imagination and realized the real-life possibilities of making a career out of what he loved.
The hard truth to his dearest illusions. That is the heart of science.
Fascinated by stories and reports about space, planets, and extraterrestrial life, Sagan's curiosity and intelligence earned him his high school diploma at the young age of 16. He then went on to the University of Chicago, where he graduated with a BA in physics at age 21, followed by his master's at age 25, then a PhD in astronomy and physics before his 30th birthday. On the other side of the United States, the University of California, Berkeley made Carl Sagan a fellow in astronomy.
Tiny part of the vast cosmic tapestry, a starry fabric of worlds yet untold.
He would finally be able to put the amount of knowledge that many take a lifetime to accumulate, but he did in 30 years, into practice, and worked on NASA's Mariner 2 robotic probe. As respect for him gained more and more in scientific communities, he found himself at the prestigious Harvard University and the legendary Smithsonian Astrophysical Observatory.
To enhance enormously our understanding of the universe and to carry us to the stars.
Sagan devoted most of his time there to study the planets in our solar system, specifically Venus and Jupiter, and their physical conditions. It wasn't long until Carl Sagan became the director of Cornell University's Laboratory for Planetary Studies and became a professor just a few years later. Now decades deep in the field, Sagan was helping NASA with some of their most innovative work that would be largely influential even in the modern day.
Protestant denominations have no difficulty with the idea that humans have evolved from other creatures.
However, his celebrity status exploded as he became more outspoken about his beliefs regarding interstellar space travel, planets, the cosmos, and extraterrestrial life. He was even a brief consultant on Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece, 2001: A Space Odyssey. But he delved deep into writing some educational, some straight-up science fiction novels, living out his imaginative fascinations from his childhood and bringing them to life as an adult.
Some people think these things are really in the night sky, but we put these pictures there ourselves.
Carl Sagan's Cosmos, A Personal Voyage, made science entertaining and interesting to the public like never before. In 1973, Sagan released his book, The Cosmic Connection: An Extraterrestrial Perspective. This started to gain him international attention, not just as a scientist anymore, but as a talented writer with incredible stories and notions. He also demonstrated the novel ability to condense complex ideas into charming and alluring prose, culminating into comprehensible stories that deliver powerful information in a way general audiences enjoy.
Light reflected off your nose reaches me just an instant in time before your ears. But suppose I had a magic camera.
Sagan went on a creative spree throughout the 70s, writing Other Worlds in 1975 and The Dragons of Eden: Speculations on the Evolution of Human Intelligence in 1977, which won a Pulitzer Prize. Sagan didn't release another novel until 1985 titled Contact, which was later adapted into a movie 12 years later with Jodie Foster. However, arguably his most influential work came out 5 years prior.
It depends on the fraction of a planet's lifetime that's graced by a technical civilization.
Carl Sagan and Anne Druyan would change the world and how regular everyday people understand science with his groundbreaking show Cosmos: A Personal Voyage in 1980. That same year, he founded an international space exploration non-profit organization, the Planetary Society. Taking such a complex small field that only the best and brightest understood and could get involved in, then expanding it to the world, making the grandest scientific notions comprehensible was one of Sagan's most fascinating distinctions, and established him as one of the very first scientist celebrities.
Would you welcome Carl Sagan?
His notoriety was not the only factor in his celebrity status either. It was the phenomenal crafting of his own hit show along with Anne Druyan and manufacturing it in an entertaining package that matched and at times surpassed some of the best sci-fi shows and movies in terms of production quality, dialogue heavy with lyrical prose and with great societal benefit. In 2014, Anne Druyan and Seth MacFarlane, a well-known brilliant space and science fanatic, executive produced a revival of Carl Sagan's original Cosmos, A Personal Voyage, with a new, farther-reaching title, Cosmos, A Spacetime Odyssey.
A generation ago, the astronomer Carl Sagan stood here and launched hundreds of millions of us on a great adventure.
With Sagan's underling and equally talented scientist and entertainer Neil Degrasse Tyson as the host. The show has been met with incredible commercial and critical acclaim, but many fans of the show believe it deserves much more for its greater contributions to art, science, and society. The show expertly carries on the legacy Carl Sagan and Anne Druyan left with the original show and shows off its advanced technological possibilities with replicating and recreating stories revolved around the greatest people in history and their contributions to science.
Reject the ones that fail. Follow the evidence wherever it leads and question everything.
MacFarlane's influence is clear on the show, with the animation and production quality being top tier and rather avant-garde in many episodes. It's certainly worth a watch for anyone and will keep you glued to the screen and fascinated beyond belief.